HarperCollins presents The Secret Christmas Bookshop by Cressida McLaughlin, read by Candida Gubbins.
Chapter 1. It wasn't even dark when Sophie Stevens heard the first firework, but she knew then that it was time to move on. She stood behind her narrow counter in Hartley country apparel, twirling a silver biro between her fingers, and listened to the staccato celebratory pops that sounded too close by. Probably some lads from the school. Fiona didn't look up from her crossword, her brows creased in concentration. She was wearing a tweed jacket, always a living mannequin for the high-end items they sold, her golden hair falling in layered waves that framed her face. From now until Christmas, they'll be bubbling over with mischief. This is only the beginning. At least they're having fun, Sophie said. Fiona looked up. Do you want to abandon your notebooks, go and set off some illicit bangers? Have you been hiding a reckless streak from me this entire time? I might have some hidden features you don't know about. She raised an eyebrow. You sound like a smartphone. Fiona paused, then added, Everything's okay, though. You've seemed restless these last few days. Sophie tried to hide her surprise. Firework night was her catalyst, the time when she always started to think about leaving. Except that if Fiona had noticed she was restless, her subconscious must have begun priming her for her short-notice disappearing act already. This time, she was considering Cornwall, which was almost as far as she could get from where she was now, the sleepy, beautiful village of Mistingham on the North Norfolk coast. She found that the further she went, the easier it was to start again. I'm fine, she said to Fiona. Just gearing up for Christmas, working out which materials I need to reorder, how many more notebooks I need to make to keep my shelves filled. They're very beautiful shelves, Fiona said. That was one thing Sophie would miss. The notebook concession she had in Fiona and her husband Ermine's country clothes store. The shop drew in a lot of customers, and unique luxury notebooks were just the kind of indulgent treat that tourists and visitors let themselves buy on holidays or days out. She always had a range of styles, sizes and price points. Cloth-bound notebooks with ribbon ties, card-covered jotters with hand-painted designs and long stitch binding, leather case-bound journals that took her the longest to make but were cooed over on a daily basis, the ultimate treasure. She made them with plain pages for doodling, thick and thin-lined for to-do lists and general scribbling, dotted for people who were serious about their bullet journals. Her corner of the shop was a cornucopia of colour and texture, offering the endless possibility of hundreds of blank pages. And at Christmas time, her notebooks shimmered into the limelight. They were bought as presents, of course, because it was easy to be that little bit more lavish when you were buying for someone else. But December was also a month of list-making, lists of presents you needed to buy, who to send Christmas cards to, your shopping list for the big lunch. Recipes copied from books and amended to suit your guest list, mindful of any allergies or intolerances. There were secret lists of the gifts you wanted for yourself, or the Christmas wishes you were going to make, because, if you were like Sophie, you still believed in that festive magic at 37, as well as the power of a fresh, sparkling new year, even if you would never admit it to anyone. This was Sophie's time to shine, and every year she leaned into it. She expanded her notebook range, honed her craft, surrounded the workstation in whatever rented flat she was living in with piles of new materials. She had fallen into a pattern of having a frenetic, successful festive season, then packing up all her things, what was left of her stock, and starting again somewhere else. Everyone in Mistingham
Sample complete. Ready to continue?